Let me hit you with the truth most men spend their entire lives running from. The strongest prison on earth has no bars, no guards, no locked doors. It lives in your head, and it is built entirely from imagined judgment. You do not hesitate because you are weak. You hesitate because you are watched, or at least you think you are. Every time you soften your opinion, every time you dress for approval instead of function, every time you stay silent when you should speak, that is the leash tightening. And Miyamoto Musashi once lived with that leash wrapped so tightly around his throat, it nearly killed him. This is not a story about a calm philosopher who never cared what people thought. This is the story of a violent, insecure, approval-starving man who cared too much, more than you, more than most men ever will, and how he burned that weakness out of his system until public opinion lost all authority over his nervous system. By the end of this video, you will understand how he did it, why modern men are trapped in a worse version of the same prison, and how to apply Musashi's mindset without becoming bitter, fake, or socially dead. This is not comfort content. This is mental reprogramming. Musashi did not start as a legend, he started as a liability. Young Musashi was unstable, dirty, unrefined, fueled by rage and shame. He fought because fighting forced the world to look at him. Every duel was a scream that said, "I exist." His ego was thin as glass. One insult could trigger bloodshed. One dismissive look could send him charging forward without thought or strategy. That is not strength. That is exposure. Today, men do the same thing in safer ways. Arguments online, endless explaining, flexing success, seeking validation through numbers, likes, reactions, and comments. Different tools, same wound. Here's the part most people do not want to admit. Caring what people think does not make you socially intelligent, it makes you predictable. And predictability is weakness. Musashi learned this in blood. There is a moment in the manga Vagabond where Musashi realizes something terrifying. His enemies are not just reading his movements, they are reading his emotions. They know exactly how to bait him. A comment about his skill, a joke about his background, a whisper about his worth, and he would explode. If someone can move you emotionally, they can move you physically. Musashi hated this more than death, so he vanished. He walked away from society, not to become holy, but to become unhooked. Years alone, no applause, no humiliation, no mirrors reflecting an image back to him, just cold mornings, hunger, exhaustion, silence. And silence did something brutal and beautiful. It stripped him. The first shift that freed him was simple but violent. Musashi stopped treating himself as important. Later, he wrote, "Think lightly of yourself and deeply of the world. This is not motivational fluff. This is ego reduction. Your anxiety exists because you believe your actions are under constant surveillance, that your failures echo, that your mistakes are permanent stains. They are not. You are not the center of the room. You are not the main character in other people's lives. You are a passing detail. And that realization is not depressing. It is liberating. When Musashi stopped believing he was special, judgment lost its leverage. Dust does not get offended. Dust does not need approval. Think about it. A stranger trips in public. You notice. You forget. You trip in public. You remember it for years. That imbalance is the illusion killing your courage. Musashi saw through it. He stopped trying to be seen. And when you stop trying to be seen, fear weakens. The second shift went deeper. Musashi destroyed his desire for praise. This is where modern men collapse. They think confidence means believing you are better than others. That still requires comparison. That still needs witnesses. Musashi removed the hunger itself. No hunger for validation means no fear of rejection. They are two sides of the same addiction. Watch how it works today. You post something. It performs well. Dopamine, relief, identity reinforced. Next time you need more. Louder opinions, sharper edges, more exposure. Then one day, silence. And that silence feels like punishment. So you adjust, you perform, you chase. You are no longer moving from purpose. You are reacting to feedback. Musashi refused to play this game. He trained in obscurity, improved without witnesses, lived without narrating his progress. Here is how you start breaking this dependency. For the next 7 days, do one hard thing well each day and tell no one. No posts, no hints, no explanation. You will feel restless, invisible, almost anxious. That feeling is withdrawal. Sit with it. Musashi starved the craving until praise and criticism became neutral data. And when approval stops being fuel, rejection loses its sting. But there is still one situation that exposes most men: direct disrespect. Someone questions you, insults you, dismisses you face to face. This is where egos erupt. Musashi's final shift made him untouchable. He stopped having an identity that needed protection. Most men build their sense of self like a fortress: titles, beliefs, status, achievements. Then they spend their lives guarding it. Every insult becomes an invasion. Musashi built nothing, so there was nothing to defend. When someone attacked him verbally, the words had nowhere to land. Not because he suppressed emotion, but because there was no ego surface to strike, like punching fog. Here is the technique that moves you toward this. When someone criticizes you, ask one question: so what? Trace the comment to its real-world impact. They think you are weak. What actually changes? They think you failed. What breaks tomorrow? They misunderstand you. What is lost? Almost always nothing, just noise. Once you see this clearly, the urge to defend dissolves. You stop explaining yourself, and a man who does not explain himself is extremely hard to control. You see this mindset in powerful characters everywhere. John Wick does not argue, he acts. Batman does not justify himself, he moves. Thorfinn, once he drops the need for recognition, becomes unshakable. This is not fiction, this is psychology. Men who stop caring what people think do not become arrogant. They become clean. No emotional leakage, no wasted motion, no reactive decisions. Musashi did not become just fearless, he became unhooked. Praise did not inflate him, criticism did not shrink him. He moved according to reality, not opinion. That is real power. 7 days before his death, Musashi wrote his final rules. One cuts deeper than all the rest. Do not regret what you have done, not because every action was perfect, but because regret is still you performing for an audience that does not exist. Replaying the past is submission to imaginary judgment. Musashi stepped off the stage, and when you leave the stage, the critics disappear. Here is the truth that cuts through all the confusion. The world does not reward authenticity the way people pretend it does. It rewards clarity, ruthless, grounded clarity. Clarity appears the moment your decisions stop being filtered through imagined reactions, approval, or rejection. The moment you act without rehearsing how it will look, sound, or be judged. Musashi did not become cold, distant, or emotionless. He became aligned, internally consistent. Every action came from one place instead of a committee of other people's opinions. No noise, no performance, no justification, no explanation tours, just action taken in full ownership. You do not need permission to live like this. You never did. The prison door was never locked. You were just too busy looking back at the crowd to notice you were already standing in front of the exit. Thank you for watching. If you want more raw, unfiltered wisdom, join my free newsletter. And if you want to see more videos, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button. I'll see you in the next one.